All right, back for another comic book review, and this time we are continuing with the story, and we're going to be doing Avengers 3:16. So, let's continue where the last story left off. Yes. Avengers 316, 1990. Guest starring the amazing Spider-Man, they say, the life of Star Fox. Let's get into it. The opening page here says Spiders and Stars, and we get a little exposition about Iron Man and Vision by themselves in a Quinjet tracking the location of the radio transmission they heard in space. Now these two pages are starting off with a little bit of exposition. They reviewing how they felt a flux and Star Fox radioed them. They're homing on a radio signal. They don't know that the other Avengers have solved the problem because they were completely unaware of the flux that they were caught in. As they activate the sublight engine so they can get to the moon faster, they get to the other side of the moon and they see a spaceship that's almost as big as Manhattan. Vision tells Iron Man that the size of the spaceship, him saying as big as Manhattan, may be an exaggeration. And they get ready to try to get aboard the spaceship. Iron Man starts to do a little reminiscing, and Vision says that this is rather odd. This new Iron Man says that he is not Tony Stark yet. He starts reminiscing as he is. The two make it over to the ship, and they start to analyze it. They notice that the hull of the ship is made out of an unknown alloy that they did not have in their science. Iron Man finds a control panel, and we cut over to the bridge to see Gunther and his goons subdue Star Fox. Gunther and Star Fox start to argue about which side Star Fox should truly be on, since he is a blood relative of Nebula. He does say that Nebula may be his grandniece, but that she is the daughter, or granddaughter, of his evil brother Thanos. Gunther doesn't like the fact that he keeps bringing that up and says that he should be loyal to her. He insults Nebula, which causes Gunther to lash out at Star Fox and knock him over. Remembering that he needed to get back in contact with Nebula, he also knocks some of the neuralizers loose in Star Fox's helmet. He says that he may not be able to use his pleasure power, but he may be able to cause some mischief with the guards, and Gunther sees some irregular readings back on Earth in the facility where Nebula was at. As the stories start to sync up now, Captain America and Spider-Man and Thor and all of them are recovering. Captain America claims that they couldn't have done it without Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is elated. Siri says that everything is back to normal. While they're all patting each other on the backs, Nebula uses this moment to get a hold of Gunther and teleports away before any of the other Avengers can realize it. They look around and they notice that Nebula is gone. Captain America says that Iron Man and Vision will be there soon and they'll be in for a big surprise. The Avengers say that they're going to go ahead and catch up with Nebula too, and they all pile back into communications room that had recently been taken away from the rest of the Avengers compound. They get a hold of John Jameson, and he asks him if he knows that there's a big chunk of the HQ missing. Captain America says he's aware of the situation and they need a Quinjet. They're about to bid Spider-Man adieu on the outside of the facilities, and Spider-Man says, hey, if there's something going on out there, you're going to need me, and I'd like to join you. Captain America says, that's spoken well. You can join us. Nebula, annoyed that the Avengers stopped her latest scheme. She tells Gunther that power was within her grasp and she'd like to go to Plan B. Gunther warns her against doing this because she came close to endangering the universe, and it can do so again. She tells her that she doesn't want to hear about this and prepared the preparations. Star Fox, not completely sure of what's going on with Nebula, starts to tell her she's speaking in riddles. She says that he will find out soon enough what she is up to. Nebula had said that she wanted to use some stones of power, but Star Fox was telling her that these stones were just a myth, and she is nothing but full of hot air, basically. She smacks him because she doesn't like the fact that she is being disrespected in her eyes. She charges up her blasters and gets ready to blast him, but he uses his persuasion powers to dissuade her from blasting him. Then Iron Man and Vision finally get aboard the ship. While Iron Man was waiting to get on, Vision came in and knocked out a few of the guards. As they make their way further in the ship, they are discovered. Iron Man and Vision, besieged by enemies aboard the spacecraft, start fighting back and start talking about their attempts not to kill them. But that doesn't mean that they can't bruise them a little bit. Iron Man and Vision battle on. As the other Avengers approach the space station, Captain America radios Iron Man. Momentarily distracted by turning on the homing signal, he gets blasted. Vision tells Iron Man to fall back, and he says that he can't as another wave approaches. Just then, Cap, Thor, Spidey, and Ceres all begin to join the battle. And Thor throws his hammer. Spider-Man and Captain America start making short work of the wave that was about to topple over Iron Man. Spidey sets him up and Cap knocks him down, telling Spider-Man that he works better in a team than he would have expected. Spider-Man's senses go off and he tells Cap that they're starting to bring in the big guns. Captain America tells him to duck as he tries to see if his shield is enough to knock the big bruiser over. The big bruiser starts swinging rapidly around, and as he hits one of his own men, he knocks Captain America over the edge. Spider-Man swings in to save him and asks him a question about his uniform, being a flag. And Cap has a little speech for what the suit represents. Spider-Man lays his punch on the bruiser, but doesn't seem to make a dent. As Spider-Man is trying to dodge the swing, Cersei notices what's going on, and she uses her powers to actually turn this gigantic bruiser to a little pig in a spacesuit. The Avengers battle on, getting closer and closer to the brig, and then they finally reach the door that leads to the bridge. They enter the bridge and they find that Nebula and the rest of her crew have been subdued, and they all have smiles on their faces. Star Fox using his pleasure power. As a few more guards pop in, Star Fox uses his power again and overloads the pleasure centers of their brain, which causes them to pass out. While they're congratulating Star Fox for a job well done, Captain America on the spot offers Spider-Man membership into the Avengers, saying, "You've been up for membership before, but something has stopped you. How about you become an Avenger now?" Spider-Man accepts, and he becomes an Avenger. While being welcomed by the rest of the team that is there, they suddenly hear gigantic vibrations throughout the ship. And Star Fox says, "There's something tearing up the ship," and the voice says, "Not something, Eros of Titan." The booming voice says, "Say, rather, someone." A giant figure walks onto the bridge through the wall of the ship, and Captain America shouts out, "The Stranger!" And Spider-Man takes a moment to regret joining the Avengers. Need we say, to be continued. What is this person known only as the Stranger here for? Is he the he that they referred to in the beginning of this five-parter? What of Spider-Man joining the Avengers? How are they going to be able to take on someone as strong and powerful as the Stranger? Tune in for the next issue to see how they resolve the situation in the fourth part of this five-part storyline.